I'm Havilah Malone, #1 best-selling author and Miss Louisiana Universal 2018 and inspirational speaker here on Mic Check with Stylist B.
Mic check with Stylist B. Mic check with Stylist B. Mic check with Stylist B. Mic check with Stylist B.
Hello and welcome back to Mic Check with me, the one and only Stylist B, the show where we continue to bring you the latest and greatest in the entertainment industry. And so this show is just like many others before. We found someone that's doing inspirational things. It's #1 best-selling author, Miss Louisiana Universal 2018, and just all-around motivator, move shaker, hip innovator, just continuing to do great things, Miss Havilah Malone. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I feel like I could have added like 5 more things. I'm like, I gotta get to her, so I'm gonna stop. You know what I mean? Like inspire. You're a pusher. You know what I mean? You're a giver. You know what I'm saying? You have multiple books you've authored. You know, I could have said best-selling author. I could have said published author. You know, I was playing with it. Anyway, so you tell people who you are, since I literally could have kept going. We're going to see how you sum it up when you introduce yourself. Please let the audience know who you are.
Oh, I think you did a fantastic job with your introduction. I think you're absolutely right. I'm Havilah Malone, #1 best-selling author of How to Become a Publicity Magnet in Any Market via TV, radio, and print, and the children's book, The Amazing Adventures of Oliver Hill, which is based off of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I'm also Miss Louisiana Universal 2018, and inspirational speaker, so I speak around the country, just really helping to inspire audiences to be their best and to step into, the space that they were born to step into. And I'm also an actress, so guest star on like NCS New Orleans, or in NCS, there's another letter in there.
NCIS, I got you.
Exactly. And have had many features on NBC, ABC, Fox, and so many more. So it's really blessed, and just want to use all of my gifts to the fullest while I'm here on this planet. So.
See, this is why I don't feel bad about like stumbling to figure out what words to say, because you see, I was right. I could have added more things and still, you know what I mean, and still be introducing you. So I'm just like super proud of everything that you've done. And Havilah is more than an artist. She's a friend, and I just have so much love for her. So it's an honor to sit down with you, because I know you're amazing, but to share it with my audience is just, exciting for me. You know what I mean? So, we could just dive right in. Let's talk about the books first, because you did tell us the 2 titles, and I want them to know more about that. And you brought some with you. Feel free to, flash it and let them see how amazing it looks. So tell us.
Yeah, so this book, this is the very first one that was released to #1 bestseller. It's called How to Become a Publicity Magnet in Any Market via TV, radio, and print. And it's really for, entrepreneurs, people who have a product, a service, a message, something that you're trying to get out into the world, and how to use some very powerful platforms of television, radio, print, and even online, because there's huge platforms available on those aspects as well. But how do you get on a national television show, and how do you do it for free? So it really helps to break down exactly. So how it breaks down tips and strategies on being able to make yourself appealing to media where they're seeking after you for what it is that you have to offer. But most importantly, how to get out of your own way. Because there's so many opportunities that are available, that are everywhere, but we sometimes don't pursue those opportunities. We don't take the first step to go after it because we think we're not good enough, or not smart enough, or, there's somebody else who could do that better than me, so, no, or I'm not ready yet, the infamous I'm not ready. And so it breaks down these 5 steps to win that help you to be able to get past that mental garbage that's there, and to be able to truly put yourself in a position to strike.
And that's what it is. It's garbage.
Absolutely.
It's garbage. We've fed into it. We've consumed it, but it's nothing of substance. You know what I mean? Because really, anything you put your mind to, you can do. We're both products of that.
Be given a vision. You can't think of something that comes into your mind without the ability to actually manifest it into reality.
That's called a fact.
Yes.
Facts. Right. So that's why I love that you said garbage, because that's a fact. I always say when people say, oh, you do so much, I say, well, I don't feel like it's doing a lot, because really I just do what's put in me. Because if it's put in me, then it's for me.
Absolutely.
I can't fathom something that I'm not possible of doing because he gave it to, he literally implanted it in me and said, here, this is for you.
And that's the thing too, like people who have their opinions about what is too much or you're all over the place or whatever. Here's the thing. What was given to you as a vision was given to you as a vision. So yeah, you may not be able to see it. Right. You may not be able to understand it. Maybe you don't even agree with it, but it wasn't for you.
Exactly.
It was for me to birth into this world.
Right.
And so if we all stay in our own lane, do what we were meant to do, to play our special note on this keyboard of life, we'd be good.
That was a visual too. I liked it. I did. I liked it. I was like, that's us. We on these keys. And that's okay. And sometimes I play this key too. And sometimes I like this note. And that's fine. So no, I love that. Yeah, that's exactly what I think it is. I think too often when you and also I think we share too much, but we'll get into that. Yeah. But too often when you share with people who weren't given the vision, they can't see it. Yeah. And we got to be okay with that because it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't theirs. And I think once you give life to whatever was given to you, that's when it's their time to take it in because they can see it now. You've made it visible. You know what I mean? You've given it a tangibleness that they can now take in. So I agree.
You can make all the excuses in the world about why things aren't going the way that you want them to. But as soon as you do hit and you get it and you do it, then people don't have questions no more.
Ain't no questions. I answered all the questions.
There's no questions anymore. Right. So it's kind of like be the proof of what's possible within your life by doing it. Yeah. And it's not necessary for you to tell the world, show the world.
Yeah. And that's a tagline of yours that I always love, proof of what's possible. That makes me think of the radio show. I'm going to skip around, Lord. I did a theme song for your radio show and then television show. So, and it was amazing, right? And you have proof of what's possible in the things that you say. And I like that, the ideal of, I don't have to tell you because I'm living my truth. And that will show you. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's enough. Don't get caught in like the negativity of what people say. Just do it and make it happen. Yeah. Tell me about the children's book, because I know that came about through a few.
This is something so exciting. So it's called The Amazing Adventures of Oliver Hill. It is based on Napoleon Hill's 17 Principles of Success. Right. And so the book that he created back in 1937 was called Think and Grow Rich. Right. It's one of the top 10 best-selling books of all time. It's created more millionaires than any other success philosophy in history. Wow. And the Napoleon Hill Foundation, they had reached out and asked me to be a part of this project to be able to take those principles that had only been available to adults pretty much through Think and Grow Rich and make it available to children. So we did, myself and I'm a co-author of this book along with Diane Lampy, and we took those 17 principles and broke them down into short rhymed children's stories. Nice. And so now it's available because as adults sometimes we have to unlearn a lot of things. We have to reprogram our minds because we have it filled with so much garbage. Yes. And so now you get to give your children a foundation for success on like self-discipline and teamwork and a positive mental attitude, how to budget time and money. Wouldn't you like to have learned
early on? We'd all be in better financial situations had we known, right? Instead of learn the whole way.
Exactly. So like this is, because I always tell people I am like the love child of Oprah Winfrey and Napoleon Hill. Like those are my real moms.
I buy into that. I know you, so that sounds like another hashtag fact. Yeah.
Right. Hashtag facts. And so to be a part of something so monumental, you know, and especially where we are in history right now and the shifts that are happening with consciousness, the shifts that are happening with people's mindsets and what we are not willing to settle for anymore. So to be able to give our children something of substance that they can really, you know, take from youth and have that as their foundation. Like, I mean, there's nothing like it. So I am so excited about this book and all that it's done so far and what it will do for generations to come.
And so I want to talk. You can sit it down, relax. Because now I want to get into the significance of the second book. There's significance in both of them. But the reason I say that because I know your story. And people may be asking, like, well, wait, how did the Napoleon Hill Foundation reach out to? How do you get to that place? You are someone who invests in herself.
Oh, yes.
And we have to say that because sometimes we want to make it, we want to do the things we want to do, but when it comes to having to spend money for certain things, like, well, I don't want to spend money on it. But then how do you make it happen, right? So you're someone who I've consistently see invest in themselves. And so you told me about a conference you did, like how it even led up to that. So I want them to know how that opportunity, because it's full circle, how you investing in yourself came back to, you know, so many wonderful seeds. So tell us about that.
Yes, indeed. And I love the fact that you say about investing in yourself. Like, you are the best investment you will ever have.
Yeah.
And so if you are skimping on that in any way, shame on you.
Yeah.
You get one opportunity in this life and space, in the body that you chose to inhabit for this life. So do the most.
Yeah.
Talk about do the most.
Yeah.
For yourself.
Which is what I'm doing all year. I hope they're ready.
Yes, but for this particular project, so it started off with a book. It started off with Think and Grow Rich, and me reading that book and pulling from it the jewels that I could at the time.
Right.
And I saw the value of that information. And so as years went on, I was like, how do I continue to pour this into myself? How do I go even deeper with this? And so I found out that the Napoleon Hill Foundation did a leader certification program. And of course, the program that you have to invest in your money and your time, because it takes typically most people like a year to 3 years to complete that program.
Wow.
And so I knew for me, because of how powerful those principles were, I was worth it.
Yeah.
To be able to invest the money and the time to do this. And I did. And when we were in the second phase of the program, so you do a home study course, you actually go to a live event.
Okay.
So we were in French Lick, Indiana. And in that live course, we were given an assignment. And that assignment was to write a one-page children's story, like to pick a writing partner and then write a one-page children's story based off of a principle that they gave you on a little piece of paper. And so I remember getting my little slip of paper. It had a number 10 on there. And I look at that 10 and I was like, oh, 10, that's enthusiasm. Bam, that's my favorite principle anyway.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So I picked Diane Lampy. And I was like, come on, we're going to, work on this story together. We have an hour because it was on our lunch break. So we go up to our hotel room.
So it's not even a lunch break.
Right.
It's a working lunch.
Work break.
With food. It's a work break with food.
Exactly. I don't think we ate.
So basically during the work hours.
Exactly. So we went to go work. And so we go up to the room, and as we were trying to think of like concepts on like how to like formulate this story, like it started coming out in this rhyming pattern.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, like let's go with this.
Yeah,
And so we ended up writing the story called The Town of Lost and Found, teaching that principle on enthusiasm. And so we get back down to the class. Everybody's like coming back.
Yeah.
All the groups are getting up. They're presenting their stories. And we get up. We present our story. And the reaction was overwhelming.
Wow.
And we both look at each other. And we're like, okay, we got something here.
Right.
We got something
but
here.
It's something.
I remember we sit down and a few more groups go. And one group gets up and they present the story on enthusiasm. And I was like, hold up, girl. Like, that was our principle.
Right.
Why they doing a story on enthusiasm? Girl, I go back. I open up my folder. I take the little slip of paper out. I look at the little number 10. I go to the principles. Number 10 is not enthusiasm. Number 10 is accurate thinking. But I knew in that moment, I was like, that's nothing but God.
Nothing but God.
That put a blinder on my eyes, so I saw what I was supposed to see.
To do what you needed to do.
In that moment.
Yeah.
Because when we sat down to actually create the story on accurate thinking, it took us 2 weeks to write that story. So we had 1 hour. Took us 2 weeks.
Exactly.
So God was like,
let me give you this to get you in.
Put the blinder
That's
on.
right.
Let me show you what you need to see.
Right. and be sure of it too. That's what's funny. What they know in enthusiasm?
I
They must not know what number they
had. I was like, confidently wrong.
They need to look at the list.
But so right. And so after it was over, the director of the Napoleon Hill Foundation came and she approached us and she was like, look, I don't know where this would go, but we absolutely love what you all did with that story. We would like for you to take a shot at doing all 17 principles in that same style and format, and we'll just see. And so again, that's kind of like taking those leaps of faith. Yeah. Because it's like, I could be like, well, I'm not going to invest my time, and I don't even know if this is going to lead anywhere. I'm just going to just end up in a file 13 in a garbage can somewhere. But I based on the things that I had asked the universe for, the things that I had put myself in a position to be ready for, it was like, this is all kind of falling in alignment the way it's supposed to. And so it took us about 3 months, and we were going back and forth because Diane's out of Dallas, so we were going online back and forth and formulating these stories. And when it all came together, they delivered that to the foundation. We went back and forth with edits, and then it ended up becoming a published book in December of 2016. So that was like to become a part of the whole Think and Grow Rich legacy and the Napoleon Hill Foundation family, and the impact that it's making on youth right now. I mean, it literally is like a dream come true. Yeah. Literally.
And it's funny because you paid for something that is now paying forward 10 times over. You know, sometimes we hold on to the little bit when if we opened our hands, we could receive so much more. Right. That's what I think is funny.
Like, right. That pursuing like self-education, pursuing pouring into myself would lead to me being able to use the gifts that were put into me to pour into so many other people. Right. But until you put yourself in the position to be used, then you're going to be in the closet somewhere that nobody knows about. That nothing is happening.
Yeah. That's crazy. And I think too, something even more than just like investing in yourself is committing to the work, because you could have been like, it's an assignment on this thing that I'm doing, and let's just get something done.
Right.
Let's just get something. Right. Because nobody's grading you. It's not school. You know, there's no right or wrong answer technically. Right. Let's just get this done. I'm hungry. Let me eat, because it was supposed to be a lunch break, right? I'm paying and they don't even let me eat. You know what I mean? There's so many stances you could have took on that would have led to it not being what it was, which was a defining moment in your life.
Yes, Lord. It reminds me of, there's a book called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And the fourth agreement is always do your best. Yeah. Always do your best. No matter what it is. What was it? I forget, I think Zig Ziglar or somebody said, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you were only half-assing stuff over here, guess what? You're half-assing it everywhere. Yeah. So if you're going to do it, commit to it and do it, and always do your best. If you show up like that, and some days your best is going to be not as good as the day before. And
but it's, as long as it's your best. Exactly.
And that's all that can ever be asked of you. And you will put yourself in a position that the doors will open when it's time for them to open.
Yeah. This is, listen, we started off, what was it, a short film?
Wait, on our first project?
Yeah, was it Suno's campus or UNO's campus? God, wow. It was UNO's campus. We were so young. We were so, I wouldn't say green. I don't think any of us have ever really been green, but we could say green to the industry. We were just wanting to, at that time, I don't think either one of us just said actress, which we should have, because we were new to each other. We both had like these long lists of aspirations, right? Which factually we both seen happen for the other party, you know? So sitting here with you and just, books in, is crazy, and features in and episodes in, and it's just a mix, because we were like super like I think we were getting on people's nerves. We were just such happy, like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm a stylist of Havilah. What do you want to do? I want to change the world. I want to act. Like, it was just but it was so genuinely true to who we were. And I think just sticking to that, knowing that we wanted to create a lane for ourselves, has gotten us to this place. And it's only the beginning.
Oh my God.
Really.
I feel like we have just scratched the surface.
Absolutely.
And like, people will look at the laundry list of like, but you've done this. Like, I mean, that's enough in somebody else's lifespan.
Right.
You know, like, this is a lifetime worth of accomplishments. But when you have a bigger vision for yourself, a bigger dream for yourself, and you won't limit yourself to what you did or you did or you did. No. What was put inside of me
is for me.
Huge.
Exactly.
And so even when we started back in those days, you know, with the bright eyes, so excited about the world. I think we're still in that place.
That's what I admire.
Yeah,
because like I think so many people, I've seen the lights dimmed from a lot of people. You know, I've seen people not be who they were when they first came to the scene, you know. And for us, it's like every time it's almost like a point, like, hey, because we know, you know, we're never going to stop. We're always going to be committed. We're always going to keep going, you know. And
it gets hard. Like,
absolutely. And we're going to get to some of that too.
Like, it gets hard.
Which is why lights are dimmed for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It gets hard, it gets trying, it gets confusing, it gets discouraging, you know, it gets everything but what you want it to be at times, you know. But at the end of the day, it's like, when you know,
yeah,
and that's enough.
You have to stay true to your vision. You have to stay true to what you see for yourself, and no matter what the naysayers say, no matter what the people who didn't pursue their dreams, and then they're trying to either protect you or they're trying to like, well, I don't want to see you rise because I didn't rise. You know, no matter what that is, you have to stay true to your vision. We were born with everything we need already inside of us. Everything. And when you remember who you are and whose you are, can't nobody stop you. Nothing.
This is why from day one, I think we sat in the corner by ourselves talking about like the life that we foresaw for ourselves, you know what I mean, from day one. So that's why I had to have you on. I'm like, people need to hear you speak. They need to feel your energy. You know, they need to know, because you've been through stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and sometimes on the outside looking in, people don't see that. You know, they see, oh, Miss Louisiana Universal 2018, huge smile. You know what I'm saying? She's always happy, but they don't know. And that's why for me, like, when I sat down, I said, I want to do a show, you know, for the new year. I sat down with my team. My team was like, okay, I love my team. Shout out to the mic check crew, team, all of them. But when I sat down, I was like, I want to do a show. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, I want to talk to like all my artist friends and like people I don't know but that are doing great things. They're like, okay. I'm like, but I want there to be some type of component where they share their struggles, where they share their hardships. I said, because we live in a world where social media is always posting like the instant gratification, but it's not instant. It just seems that way, right? Exactly, exactly. But it's like, that's not life. That's the best parts of their life, and that's fine. But I think people, onlookers, get confused. They get confused. That's not the whole book. That's one chapter.
You see the glory, but you don't know the story.
Exactly.
There's a story.
And that's why I like to do, you know, that's why I like to sit down with artists and say, okay, how did that start? How did you get to that? That's why I say tell that story, because that may not be a struggle, but that's definitely a choice, a decision, a commitment. And that can be a struggle for someone. You get what I'm saying? So I just am honored that you're here. We're going to get some more stuff too, because there's so many things that not only have you tapped into, but so many things that you've been through that you turned into a victory. So what if when the L for someone else became a victory for you?
Talk about even the struggle aspect of it. So even that course that I decided that I was going to invest in.
Yes, you told me how much it cost.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
See,
at the time, I was struggling financially.
Right.
So I had to borrow the money to go and take the course.
Yeah. So
it could have easily been like, well, I had the money, so I ain't about to go do that. Like, you know, let me go work on this or do that or whatever, or invest my time over here. But I knew the investment in improving me would improve everything else.
Exactly.
And so it was kind of like, no, if I gotta, you know, borrow over here and, you know, take out over here or whatever, then I will get this together to make it happen. And there were so many benefits that came from making those commitments, from making those investments. Even when it's hard, even when it's a struggle to make the investment, you still got to make the investment. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So Miss Louisiana Universe 2018, I I saw it and I was like, wait a minute, we didn't talk about this because, you know, we try to share little things. So tell me how that came about.
Oh my goodness. Just wow. Wow. I think just about, and I won't say every little girl, but a lot of little girls, you know, have that dream of being a princess, you know, being a queen, you know, wearing the
you know, we
tiaras.
talked about that. I was a tomboy all my life.
Right.
That was never, see, I'm not the little girl, but I do love seeing little girls do that.
As I say,
as I play baseball on the side.
You know,
right.
Very different aspirations. Like I remember being in the living room watching The Little Mermaid and wanting to be her and be like,
right.
That's the princess I wanted to be, you know? And as life went on and struggles and like the tearing down of the self-confidence and you know, not feeling beautiful, not feeling, you know, good enough, like that dream so got squashed, pushed under the carpet rug. It was like not even in a preview of a reality, a possibility. I watched my cousin Bailey Dayton as she got into the top 10 of the Miss USA pageant. And watching her journey, it sparked something in me. Right. And I was just like, ooh, see that dream that was hitting.
Yeah, it starts shining. You gotta dust it off.
It starts saying, hey,
right.
What's that? Remember me? Right. Exactly. Remember me. And I was like, wow. You know, I was like, I want that. Like, I want that. And then my first thought was, wait, but you too old for that. Hold on. But here's the thing. You're never too young and you're never too old to go after what you want. It's available to you somewhere, somehow. Yeah. You just got to figure it out. Right. And so I started, like, once that igniting of that passion came back, I came up on it aired on Fox, in May. So my birthday came up in July. And when I had my birthday, I was like, what's my next chapter going to look like? What are the goals that I'm going to knock off of my list, you know, this coming year? And I was like, I'm going to be a queen. Yeah. Like, and I made the decision. Yeah. Like, it's not like the hope, the dream, should I, maybe. It was just like, it was a certainty that came over me, a decision that I made. I was like, I'm doing this. And so I started doing the research because I had never been in a pageant. Right. Nothing about the pageant world. Right. I know that we never talked about that. And you were like, oh, guess what? I'm like, well, first it's like, congratulations. I'm like, but wait. You was, I know, girl. Let me tell you. Yes. So I started doing my research. I started setting up meetings with past and present queens, with state directors, with, you know, pageant coaches, like all of these, you know, pieces and parts to try to figure out, like, where can I fit into this, like, world. And come to find out the pageant world is a world of its own. I mean, literally in Louisiana, there's over 130, like, pageant queens from like festivals. Like, so, so there's like festival queens, there's systems queens, there's, you know, there's United States, USA, Universal, I mean, like America, like it goes on and on and on, which I wasn't aware of until. And so you started digging. Exactly. So I narrowed it down to 2 systems that I really like felt like I was in synergy with their message and what they were about and what they stood for and women's empowerment. And I went for it. And October 7th of 2017, I was crowned Miss Louisiana Universal 2018. And it was like, I did it. Like, I did it. Yeah. You know, the girl who at a certain point in my life wouldn't look at myself in the mirror because I hated what I saw, because I felt like I wasn't beautiful and like I saw every flaw, and who just like thought of herself as being lower than dirt. Like, this same person is on the stage wearing this crown, doing this thing that she didn't even think was possible. Yeah. And so it just like it kind of did this like little shift. Yeah, it started reworking your mind and how you function. Yes, it was like you've done all these like academic, you know, accomplishments or whatever, but guess what, you're fine too. Like you got the beauty part down too. Like, you know? Walk past the mirror. Damn, I'm fine. I never thought I'd be able to quote Cardi B. I was just able to quote Cardi B. I'm just saying. I'm just very proud of the fact that I could pull that from there. Thank you, Cardi. I know, that's right. Right. So I love that you know, mentioned that you went through a phase of like, I didn't even want to
look at myself. It didn't even, because in other words, it's not like, oh, I just thought I was beautiful all my life, and like that's not everyone's story, you know. But still, here you are. You know what I mean? Tell me about like how do you make? Now I know how you made the shift as far as after doing that, knowing this is what it is, but because you've been through like tumultuous things, how do you make the shift of loving yourself again? Because we tend to blame ourselves when stuff happens to us.
Certainly. So for me, like as a youth, I was a victim of child molestation. And so that was such a huge, like devastating time in my life, and in the residual effect of that mindset of, you know, the shame, the guilt, the, you know, not feeling good enough. Like, I mean, I used to feel like I was lower than dirt. Like I was the dirt, the stuff underneath the dirt, you know? Which
is crazy to hear because I met you after. Right. So, and I've always known you to almost float across the room because you knew your value and your worth. So it's crazy to know that at one point you felt lower than dirt.
Yes, indeed. Oh my goodness. And it was something that I had vowed to take to my grave because I was worried about like what other people would think. And, you know, if you knew this about me, then you wouldn't respect me or like me, or you would, you know, see me in this certain way. So like I hid for so much of my life. It was definitely something that I, you know, wanted to like hide and suppress and, you know, not deal with or share, you know, of course, in any way, shape, or form. But what I found through my own personal development journey, and really all of those thoughts, that thought process, and the feeling alone and feeling ashamed and all those things, they were lies. Yeah. And it was lies that I perpetuated throughout my entire life, and it seeped into so many things that had me playing small because I thought on one side, like, I'm hiding, you know, like so if I don't get too big, if I don't get like too out there, then you won't ever ask, or you won't ever know. So let me just kind of suppress this. And that was dimming my light in such a huge way, where I wasn't able to share my gifts fully with the world the way that I was purposed to be put on this planet to do. So doing the work, and getting coaches and doing self-development work and learning how to reprogram the way that I thought has been such a huge part of that shift for me, and why I started pursuing bigger opportunities and using my gifts more fully and doing things more confidently, knowing that, I went through that, but that's not who I am. Yeah, that's a part of my story, but a part of my story that is now that pain that I can stand on as a platform to help inspire other people. It doesn't have to define me or hold me down in any way, shape, or form, because that's not what it's meant to do. Yeah, and that brought about, you had like with the dolls, I forget the name of what did you call it? My nonprofit organization is called Living Beyond the Box. Yes, Living Beyond the Box. I thought it was the best title in the world for multiple reasons, but yes. And our premier program is called Everybody Loves Barbie, which we actually have a holiday on June 26th. We actually have a state holiday called Everybody Loves Barbie Day. So for about 20 years, I used to collect Barbie dolls. You know, and of course, I used to think that I was collecting them just because they were beautiful, you know? Right. Like all these great outfits and careers and all this stuff or whatever. And I used to keep them in the box. Like, and even my family was like, oh my God, she gonna go to her grave with these dolls. Like, she don't let nobody play with these dolls. And I wouldn't. I was like, even when nieces and nephews would come, I'm like, that's not a toy. Like, right. Exactly. Like, but it's like, it's not a toy. It's not a toy. That's my doll. You get your own doll. No, let me buy you a doll. And when I broke my silence around the abuse, what I found was that my connection with the dolls also broke. And when I realized that there was a deeper reason why I was collecting them, and it was because they represented all these things that I wanted for myself, but I didn't see in myself. I didn't think I was beautiful or had all these possibilities. I wanted those things that the dolls represented, and they were inside the box. Untouched. Safe, clean, untouched. And I didn't feel that way. And so, like, they were my representation of that. And it was just like, talk about our minds and how powerful we are. So a lot of times, like, there are people who are, maybe you're a hoarder, you know, you can't get rid of nothing. There's a deeper reason why you were doing that.
And that's the physical manifestation.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Everything on your external world, even the people you attract to yourself, is because of what's going on the inside. Like, we are so much more powerful than we realize. And so if there's things in your life that you don't like or not going the way you want to, take a look on the inside.
Yeah.
Fix that first. Yeah. And all the external stuff will fix itself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Listen, you got jewels. I don't know if you're listening, take your notes, write it down, type it up, whatever. Because every time I sit down, I'm moved by you, and I know that you do that for other people. Tell us what you have coming up. We're in the first quarter of the new year, so I know you're planning, strategizing. So what do you have coming up for us?
I am super excited about a huge conference that's coming up. It's being put on by Stephanie Osborne of Meditate New Orleans. It's called Reclaiming the Goddess Within. And so for our women out there, conscious entrepreneurs, executives, women who just have goals and dreams and aspirations, and you're ready to live a more holistic life. So to be able to not only unleash your gifts, but also make some huge strides in your business and personal life, it's the conference you want to be at. So that's coming up in June 1st and 2nd. Okay. So you definitely want to check that out. If you go to meditateneworleans.com, you can get more information about it. It's called Reclaiming the Goddess Within. So I'm one of the featured speakers for that event. And also I have a women's mastermind. So it's called Shine Mastermind, and so we actually go through Think and Grow Rich for Women. Nice. Yes. Nice. So it's an amazing program that has been helping women to truly step into their power and then utilize those principles of success and apply it to their goals, like specifically. Yeah. And so we get to work together in a group to be able to make that happen. And you need support along your journey of the things that you're looking to do. You need strategies to be able to, proven strategies to be able to implement, to be able to move forward, because the whole thing of struggling on your own and just trying to figure it out.
You don't have to do that.
Why?
I don't know why. You don't have to. You find like-minded people that are buying into what you're putting out, that believe in what you're doing, and you move forward full speed ahead. When you do it by yourself, and I know because I've done stuff by myself and I've done it with a team, it just moves so slowly. If it moves at all, because some people will get to a place of just being completely disgusted and quit. I'm not a quitter, so I just sometimes just chugging along. And I'm like, you don't have to do that. Put fillers out there. There are other people who think like-minded, who are wanting to do the same things and can play the parts that we can play. You know what I mean? So I'm just excited that you have those things out and available for them to check out. Go on the websites and give them your website as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You go to HavilahMalone.com. That's HavilahMalone.com to get more information.
Yes, and to find out everything that she's up to and to get the book. And of course, because you came out and gave us the gift of you, we want to give you a gift of our own, right? So every time anyone comes here, we just like to give them a little thank you, right, from us to them. So this is for you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Sure. Okay, well, I love that everyone asks that. Yeah, go ahead, open that on up.
Oh my God. I love shirts. I'm like such a huge shirt fan. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, brand new. Ooh, all right now.
You like that?
Might check with
yes. I love that you opened it. You like, I want to feel it. I want to touch it. I want to see
the material.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I have nothing but love for you and everything that you do. I'll continue to support in any way that I can. And I hope you all do the same by going to her website, checking out what she has going on, and invest in yourself, because that's her message and that's what she's all about. And that's the best way to support her, is to be the best you, because she's proof of what's possible, and so are you. Until next time, remember, never let anyone dim your light or mute your mic. Peace.